again, in the biblical stories, there's a character, Jacob, who's really not a very good guy when he's a kid. He conspires with his mother to defraud his brother out of his rightful inheritance. He lies to his father. He's kind of a mama's boy. He's not a good guy, but he leaves. And when he leaves his home, partly because his brother wants to murder him, and for good reason, he makes a vow that he's going to change. And then he has a dream, and it's this famous dream of Jacob's ladder. And the dream is of a spiraling staircase, essentially, that ascends up into the infinite and has angels descending and ascending. That's Jacob's ladder. And when he wakes, he builds an altar and swears that he's going to transform. And so you asked, is there something that's eternally good? Well, in deep religious texts, there's an idea that you can live in the light of eternity, right? So you can live each moment as if it echoes in eternity. And that's, I suppose you get a sense of that whenever you're engaged in something that's particularly profound and meaningful. Maybe when you're deeply in love, when you're taking care of your children.
Shalawam, 𝐤𝐄𝐅𝐿ALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Rawchaa, Qadash. This is the brother Yeshaya. The title of this lesson will be, If You Let E Tell It. Now, for those that are unaware, the name of the Heavenly Father, who this world calls God, is Yahawah. The name of his only begotten Son, who this world calls Jesus, his true name is Yahawashi. And this Bible is only for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are Israelites according to the Bible. The man you call Jesus is an Israelite sent on this earth, put on that cross, and resurrected, and went back to the heavens, and will come back to save the Israelites, more specifically the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, it isn't solely so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because you have Israelites that look like other nations, but actually go back to the lineage of Jacob, which consists majority of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, as you've seen by the clip, Jordan Peterson, this Edomite through the Spirit, he's a devil. He's very smooth with his words. Smoother. Let's grab that right quick. This is Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the Spirit, because you heard him. I'm going to replay this clip right quick, because you hear him talk about Esau wanting to murder Jacob. And he's slick, because the first time the way I caught that was he believed Esau was right for wanting to murder Jacob. But, after a few more listens, he plays with the words to where it sounds like he's saying, rightfully so, Jacob made a vow. So let me play that part right quick.
Ascends up into the infinite. And then he has a dream, and it's this famous dream. His home, partly because his brother wants to murder him, and for good reason. He makes a vow that he's going his home, partly because his brother wants to murder him, and for good reason. He makes a vow that he's going.
So the way Esau's, man, he's smooth with it. You could take that either way, but through the Spirit, I believe that's him revealing his horns. He speaks lightly of Jacob being murdered, Esau wanting to murder Jacob. Now, one thing I got to point out in this lesson is Yahawah, who this world calls God, predestined Jacob to receive the blessing. If you don't believe me, well, let's let the Bible tell it. This is going to be Genesis 25, verse 23, in the New Living Translation, the NLT. And Yahawah, anytime you see capital Lord, that's Yahawah. He is, or he is to be. He exists. That's the name. he is in the English, or he is to be. So he exists because Yahweh is beyond time. He created time. So Yahweh told her, the sons in your womb will become two nations. You see? So Rebecca was being told by the Heavenly Father, there's two different people in your belly. They're twins, right? But two different people. From the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. And this is why that Edomite, Jordan Peterson, he seemed to be like an enemy. I felt offended when I caught wind of this. It says, from the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. So we always have head-to-head. You see that black versus white, Israelite versus Edomite. That's what you really see. The two nations will be rivals. One nation will be stronger than the other. And what nation is that? Well, let's find out. And your older son will serve your younger son. So the younger son is Jacob. Esau was set up to serve Israel. Esau is set up to serve us. That means we're stronger. You tell me who are the top athletes, and tell me it isn't the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American. We're the top dogs. Verse 24. And when the time came to give birth, Rebekah discovered that she did indeed have twins. This is going to prove who we are, or who Esau is, to be honest. The first one was very red at birth and covered with thick hair like a fur coat. So they named him Esau. It says right here in the footnote, Esau sounds like a Hebrew term that means hair. Well, it just means, let me see what it means. Let me grab it in the blue letter. I believe it just means, okay, I guess hairy. And I believe Edom means red. Let's grab that right quick. We'll jump back to this. My memory served me right. So Edom just means red. But Esau refers to him being hairy. And guess what that pottage was? It was undercooked. Oh, it was red. Alright, let's go back. So Salakia, Genesis 25:25. The first one was very red at birth and covered with thick hair like a fur coat, so they named him Esau. Then the other twin was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so they named him Jacob, which just means surplanter. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, and that's what you see today. Esau is a top hunter. That's why he loves to go hunting. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temper, preferring to stay at home. And so he's just more chill, more relaxed. Jake. Be kicking it up the front porch, chilling in the crib, staying out of trouble, typically. But, our people are so gone. They move backwards now. They do the opposite. Let's jump to another quick point I want to make before we rewatch that video, because this is an Edomite we're dealing with. Jordan Peterson is a devil. He's rooting for Esau the whole time, ignoring the fact that when Jacob and Esau were given to Rebekah to birth, Jacob was always destined to be the chosen lineage. But here's how to prove this devil is lying. Let me grab this right quick. So he referred to this. Let's grab this. Genesis 27 verse 1 in the NLT once again. One day when Isaac was old and turning blind, he called for Esau, his older son, and said, "My son." "Yes, father," Esau replied. "I am an old man now," Isaac said, "and I don't know when I may die. Take your bow and quiver full of arrows and go out into the open country to hunt some wild game for me." So prepare my favorite dish and bring it here for me to eat. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son, before I die. So Isaac was unaware of Esau giving up his birthright. We're going to grab that here in a second. I kind of jumped the gun. But Isaac was unaware of them trading. Esau wanted red pottage. Jacob gave it to him. in return receiving the birthright. So before I move any further, let's jump back to Genesis 25. And this is Genesis 25, verse 29 in the NLT. One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness exhausted and hungry. You know why? Because the Lord set that up. Yahweh didn't want him to eat until he got to that food Jacob was cooking. Man's goings are of the Lord. Therefore, how can a man understand his own way? Proverbs 20 and 24. No free will according to the Bible. But jumping back, Genesis 25 and 30, Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. You know, Esau, he's impatient. He's a crybaby. Give me some of that red stew. This is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. And there you go. All right, Jacob replied, but trade me your rights as the firstborn son. Look. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's read that again. Read that again, Yeshaya. Genesis 25 and 31. All right, Jacob replied, but trade me your rights as the firstborn son. Now, let me pause it right here through the Spirit. Jumping back, Genesis 27, verse 4. This is to prove Isaac was unaware. But guess who wasn't unaware? Yahawah, the one that wanted Jacob to be chosen. Genesis 27, verse 4. Prepare my favorite dish and bring it here for me to eat. Mind you, this is Isaac speaking. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son, before I die. So why did Jacob want the rights as the firstborn son? Let's find out. Let's jump back. Genesis 25, once again, verse 31. All right, Jacob replied. And this is why he's known as a surplanter, a subplanter, surplanter, Salakia. But trade me your rights as the firstborn son. So Jacob was thinking of the future. Jacob was thinking of what Yahweh put in his head, whatever that, the blessing, ultimately. So from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, this is where the blessing's at. Look, I'm dying of starvation. Starvation, said Esau. So Esau didn't give a damn. He said, give me that instant gratification. Give me this instant pleasure. What good is my birthright to me now? So Esau's like, I'm going to die. Give me some food. You can have the birthright. So why didn't Esau honor his end of the deal? Why does Jordan Peterson got to talk down on Jacob like he stole something from him? Don't get it twisted. Yeah, Isaac didn't know. Yeah, Jacob went and acted like his son Esau, acted like his brother Esau. Rebecca helped him, because Jake, we're a mama's boy, we don't have the father in the household like that as a curse. But at the end of the day, this was all set up. The Lord, he's about his drama. He's about, his action. This wasn't no, here are my chosen people, they're going to rule forever. No, we have to fight. We got to earn this. So, what good is my birthright to me now? So that's the mindset of Esau. Where was that energy when Isaac was about to bless him? We'll get back to that. But finishing off Genesis 25, verse 33. But Jacob said, first you must swear that your birthright is mine. So, he said, you better promise, pinky promise. You better put that on your life. So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. Let's grab contempt. I'm curious what that word really breaks down. Let's go to the etymology. Contempt. Open disregard or disobedience. General sense of act of despising, scorn for what is mean, vile, or worthless. So Esau said, to hell with the birthright. I gotta live today. That's the mindset of you Edomites. You're weak. And that's why Jordan Peterson just thinking about that, that's a spirit on him. That's an Edomite, man. Just thinking about Esau losing out that birthright. He wanted to point all the blame on Jacob like it's Jacob's fault. Esau, Wake up! Your ass sold the birthright, and now your ass is grass. Pardon my rude language, but damn, like you Edomites are fucking snakes. They're slimy mother. Y'all think Jake could be grimy? Who the hell do you think we learned this from? Don't get me wrong, our people are messed up, but Esau, man, you're a nasty fellow. You're like your forefather Cain, cause you are Cain. Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel. You know, it's a tomato. It's the same thing, just a different time frame. Now let's go ahead and let's jump back to what we were reading in Genesis 27. We left off with verse 4. Let's go ahead and read verse 5. But Rebekah overheard what Isaac had said to his son Esau. So Rebekah knew what was up. She was already, her ears were perking like a dog. You know, she was already listening. So when Esau left to hunt for the wild game, she said to her son Jacob, "Listen, I overheard your father say to Esau, 'Bring me some wild game and prepare me a delicious meal. Then I will bless you and Yahweh's presence before I die. Now, my son, listen to me. Do exactly as I tell you.'" Tell me Yahweh was not putting this on Rebekah. You're going to sit here and tell me Jacob was promised to be the ruler, to have the head over Esau. You know, not right now. Don't get it twisted. Esau has his little heaven right now. His little moment right now to shine. This is his 15 minutes of fame. And our 15 minutes of hell. But guess what? We got eternity to rule. But anyways, tell me that Rebekah was not being led through the spirit of Yahawah, BAHASHAM Yahawashi, to guide Jacob. So, now my son, listen to me. Do exactly as I tell you. Go out to the flocks and bring me 2 fine young goats. I'll use them to prepare your father's favorite dish. Then take the food to your father so he can eat it and bless you before he dies. But look, Jacob replied to Rebekah, my brother Esau is a hairy man and my skin is smooth. What if my father touches me? He'll see that I'm trying to trick him, and then he'll curse me instead of blessing me. So Isaac was unaware. Rebekah was in the know. She knew what was up. But his mother replied, then let the curse fall on me, my son. Just do what I tell you. Go out and get the goats for me. So Jacob went out and got the young goats for his mother. Rebekah took them and prepared a delicious meal, just the way Isaac likes it. Then she took Esau's favorite clothes, which were there in the house, and gave them to her younger son, Jacob. She covered his arm. Whoa, let's read that again, because obviously, if you still aren't following this timeline, what's going on, then you gotta wake the hell up. It says, then she took Esau's favorite clothes, which were there in the house, and gave them to her younger son Jacob. So the younger son was Jacob. Esau gave up the birthrights as the older son. So Jacob is being blessed as the older son, rightfully. But like I said, Isaac didn't know. Isaac wasn't aware that, oh, Esau gave up what? My oldest son? Come on. She covered his arms and the smooth part of his neck with the skin of the young goats. Then she gave Jacob the delicious meal, including freshly baked bread. So Jacob took the food to his father. My father, he said. Yes, my son. Isaac answered, who are you, Esau or Jacob? So Isaac was too unaware. He was older. He lost his vision. Jacob replied, it's Esau, your firstborn son. I've done as you told me. Here is the wild game. Now sit up and eat it so you can give me your blessing. Isaac asked, how did you find it so quickly, my son? Yahweh your God put it in my path, Jacob replied. And this is the truth right here. Yahweh your God put it in my path. Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, had the food prepared. He had the food prepared by Rebekah. So Jacob went closer to his father, and Isaac touched him. The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's, Isaac said. But he did not recognize Jacob because Jacob's hand felt hairy just like Esau's. So Isaac prepared to bless Jacob. But are you really my son Esau? He asked. Yes, I am, Jacob replied. So yeah, Jacob still got the blessing. He didn't, he didn't keep the truth. But this was bound to happen. Then Isaac said, "Now, my son, bring me the wild game. Let me eat it, and then I will give you my blessing." So Jacob took the food to his father, and Isaac ate it. He also drank the wine that Jacob served him. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come a little closer and kiss me, my son." So Jacob went over and kissed him, and when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced, and he blessed his son. He said, "Ah, the smell of my son is the smell of the outdoors, which Yahawah has blessed. From the dew of heaven and the richness of the earth, may God always give you abundant harvest of grain and bountiful new wine. Many, many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed." As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and almost before Jacob had left his father, Esau returned from his hunt. And this is why Esau is still to this day, that perpetual hatred, which is spoken of in Ezekiel, is still going on today. Esau feels he was robbed from something that he sold. Let me say that again. Esau felt that he was robbed for something that he sold, that he thought was worthless. It's like a dollar bill these days. You give that shit out, it don't matter. It ain't gonna make you, it ain't gonna break you. It says, so continuing, Genesis 27 and 31, Esau prepared a delicious meal and brought it to his father. Then he said, "Sit up, my father, and eat my wild game so you can give me your blessing." But Isaac asked him, "Who are you?" Esau replied, "It's your son, your firstborn son, Esau." You see Esau, he's slick, right? Your firstborn. I'm the firstborn. Give me the firstborn blessing. Come on, Dad. Come on, Father. Isaac began to tremble uncontrollably and said, Then who just served me wild game? I have already eaten it, and I blessed him just before you came. And yes, that blessing must stand." When Esau heard his father's words, he let out a loud and bitter cry. "Oh, my father, what about me? Bless me too," he begged. But Isaac said, "Your brother was here, and he tricked me. He has taken away your blessing." Esau exclaimed, "No wonder his name is Jacob, for now he has cheated me twice." How did he? Esau, you got to get a grip, man. First, he took my rights as the firstborn, and now he has stolen my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved me even one blessing for me? Hey, man, Esau, you sold it, man. Isaac said to Esau, "I have made Jacob your master and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants." And that's Ishmael, or Ishmael's, Abraham's son, but still. Isaac said to Esau, "I have made Jacob your master and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is left for me to give you, my son?" Esau pleaded, "But you have only one blessing? Oh, my father, bless me too." Then Esau broke down and wept. Yeah, because Esau, you messed up, man. Finally, his father Isaac said to him, "You will live away from the richness of the earth and away from the dew of the heaven above. You will live by your sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck." From that time on, Esau hated Jacob because their father had given Jacob the blessing. And Esau began to scheme, "I will soon be mourning my father's death. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." And there you go, man. Let's read one more verse. But Rebekah heard about Esau's plans, so she sent for Jacob and told him, "Listen, Esau is consoling himself by plotting to kill you. So listen carefully, my son. Get ready and flee to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay there with him until your brother cools off. When he calms down and forgets what you have done to him, I will send for you to come back. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" And there you go. There you go. Esau has been hating us since then. Let's grab that with Ezekiel right quick before we close out, because, man, and I want to replay that video just to show you. Let's grab this in Ezekiel. Maybe we'll jump to Genesis 28 just to show you that Jacob's ladder vision. Here it is. This is going to be Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 9. Oh, that's not it. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is that. Salakia. Ezekiel 35, verse 5 in the NLT. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them while they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. I will make Mount Seir utterly desolate, killing off all who try to escape and any who return. A Mount Seir is the habitation of Esau, Edom. So, hey, Isaiah 63, that's a vision of Yahawashi dripped in blood. Yahawashi is going to murder you. Now, hey, there you go. That's a slip of the tongue. Salakia. Yahawashi is going to kill the Edomites. Point blank, period. Isaiah 63 and 1 in the NLT. Who is this who comes from Edom, from the city of Basra, with his clothing stained red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in his great strength? It is I, the Lord, in announcing your salvation. And that's what Yahawashi means. He is salvation. He saves, he delivers. It is I, the Lord, who has the power to save. And there you go. Yahawashi is going to save us. Esau can't see that, right? Esau is going to be mad. He's got to make the Space Force. He got to make the people think that there are aliens out there. That those are unidentified flying objects. No, those are identified flying objects. They're identified if you know the Bible. The Bible speaks of the Lord's chariots. He maketh the clouds his chariots. Those are chariots. Those are out of this world inventions, because it's not this world, man. The Lord came from above. So let's go ahead and let's go to Genesis 28 real quick to grab that vision, because this is how this devil is, man. One more thing I'm going to point at. Here it is, Genesis 28, jumping down. Let's jump down. Okay. This is Genesis 28, verse 10. Meanwhile, Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. At sundown, he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down to sleep. As he slept, he dreamed of a stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven, and he saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway. At the top of the stairway stood Yahawaah, and he said, I am Yahawaah, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I am giving it to you and your descendants. So there you go. Yahawaah kept that same energy. He had plans to give Jacob the blessing, to give Jacob this to inherit the earth. Because Jacob today is known as Israel, and Israel today is known as the 12 tribes of Israel. We're the 12 sons of Jacob. So it says, and this is to prove it. Yahawaah BAHASHAM Yahawashi. I am giving. Let's jump back up, man, because Yahweh was telling him. And this devil, Jordan Peterson, claimed that Jacob made a vow and then had this vision. No. Yahweh visited Jacob in this vision, or in this dream, and then Jacob made a vow. Let's prove it. So Genesis 28 and 13. At the top of the stairway stood Yahawaah, and he said, I am Yahawaah, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I am giving it to you and your descendants. We're the descendants of Jacob. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. Tell me that you don't see Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans everywhere, all over this earth. And that's why we look like other nations. We have speckled birds. They will spread out in all directions, to the west and the east, to the north and the south. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. What's more, I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. One day I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you. So Yahweh's been with us, man. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it. But he was also afraid and said, what an awesome place this is. It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven. The next morning Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. He named the place Bethel, which means house of God, because it was previously called Luz. Then Jacob made his vow. So the Lord visited Jacob, and then Jacob made a vow. Look, I'm going to play that clip again, and I guarantee you that that dumb bottom dweller, Edomite, smooth talking, ugly ass, annoying man. Then Jacob made his vow, if God will indeed be with me and protect me on this journey, and if he will provide me with food and clothing, and if see, that's through faith, and if I return safely to my father's home, then Yahweh will certainly be my God. And see, Jacob saw the value of the birthright. He saw the value of being blessed as the firstborn son. Esau despised it. And this memorial pillar I have set up will become a place for worshiping God, and I will present to God a tenth of everything he gives me. So Jacob was moving in that right mindset. He said, you know what? I'm finna go do everything the Lord tells me to. Let's go ahead and jump to that video just to show this Edomite one last time. But man, this he pissed me off. But hey, rightfully, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to not like each other. We're supposed to be rivals from the beginning. So let's go ahead and play this. And hey, Yahawashi BAHASHAM Yahawashi for giving me the spirit. Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. I'm going to let this play out. Before I do, HALALYAM YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahawashi BAHASHAM WAHAWAH Qadash. Hey, Shalawam to the elect.
Again, in the biblical stories, there's a character, Jacob, who's really not a very good guy when he's a kid. He conspires with his mother to defraud his brother out of his rightful inheritance. He lies to his father. He's kind of a mama's boy. He's not a good guy, but he leaves. And when he leaves his home, partly because his brother wants to murder him, and for good reason, he makes a vow that he's going to change. And then he has a dream, and it's this famous dream of Jacob's ladder. And the dream is of a spiraling staircase, essentially, that ascends up into the infinite and has angels descending and ascending. That's Jacob's ladder. And when he wakes, he builds an altar and swears that he's going to transform. And so you asked, is there something that's eternally good? Well, in deep religious texts, there's an idea that you can live in the light of eternity, right? So you can live each moment as if it echoes in eternity. And that's, I suppose you get a sense of that whenever you're engaged in something that's particularly profound and meaningful. Maybe when you're deeply in love, when you're taking care of your children,